Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Y'all, check it out. I'm going to do this when it's going to be on. Michael Vick is being interviewed by Vlad from Vlad TV, and he asks him about loyalty, about why I pay for an entourage of your homies. And he used Allen Iverson as an example so you understand. You know, when Allen Iverson got in the league, he traveled with all his homies from Newport News. Then Mike Vick got in the league, and he too traveled with all his homies from Newport News. And Vlad is saying, why do you have them traveling with you when you got to pay their hotel fare, their rent, you got to pay them food, you got to pay them everything. When you got such a big entourage, save your money and don't go wasting your money on bringing your entourage with you because you don't need them with you. That's what Vlad is saying. Sit back, we're going to play down, and this whole episode is going to be about loyalty. You don't want to miss it. You need to share this. All right? All right, so you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We back in the house. Michael Vick is being questioned by Vlad, and I want you to listen to this, and we're going to play this out. Let's keep it moving. All right.
I mean, is this sort of a Newport News thing? Because Allen Iverson kind of had the same thing going on. He would always have a big crew from back home with him.
This, man. You got a crew.
Yeah, but I don't financially support him though.
Yeah, well, I mean, back you was 20 years old, it might have been different. You had a couple $1 million. You might look at it different. You know what I'm saying? You and your boys, y'all had it lit. It's like walking in that back room and you broke and you find $20 million and you found it. They was outside. You ain't gonna give them nothing. You're not gonna give him a dime. He got a kids and he trying to get an apartment. You're not gonna help him when you got a pocket full of money.
It's a tough situation.
No, it's not a tough situation. I don't think it's a tough situation.
I've dealt with it. It's a respect level, man.
I don't value a dollar, I value, loyalty, I value respect, character.
All right, so just so you understand where we at, all right? So we just dancing around right now.
I mean, is this sort of a Newport?
Now, so I'm going to play this again, and I'm going to stop it. I'm going to interject. I just want you to hear the whole thing because you understand that Vlad is saying, why spend your money on your homies? And he say, man, I don't value a dollar. I value my homies. That's what he's saying translated. All right, let's keep this moving.
Newport News thing, because Allen Iverson kind of had the same thing going on. He would always have a big crew from back home with him.
This, man. You got a crew.
Yeah, but I don't financially support him.
Yeah, well, I mean, back you was 20 years old, it might have been different. You had a couple $1 million. You might look at it different. You know what I'm saying? You and your boys, y'all had it lit.
In other words, he's saying that Allen Iverson, back when he was 20 years old, the same boys, homies, men, young men that he played ball with on those courts over there in Newport News is the same homies that prepared him and shaped him into the superstar that he became when he went into the NBA. So he took them along with him, if you could understand what I'm saying. The same homies that, played 2-on-2, played 21 when there was no one out there. It was just, him and the homie. And when he made it, he took them with him. Now we're going to finish listening to Michael Vick. I'm just translating so y'all understand where we at, all right?
It's like walking in that back room and you broke and you find $20 million and you found it. They was outside. You ain't gonna give them nothing.
You heard that? He's saying if you walking with the homies, you say, hold on, let me run in here to the bathroom. You go in the bathroom and you find 20 million ounces and you come out and you tell the homies, look what I found. But while you was walking, if a beef would have came up, real beef would have came up, he would have invited them to a piece of that fight, right? A piece of that, reward. But now that he found 20 million, he's saying it's mine. Let's ride. I remember me and my brother was out, right? And my brother come around the corner and got in a fight with a big Puerto Rican family. We had 3 brothers and sisters, so we had a big family, and they had like 5 brothers and 5 sisters. So we was always fighting with each other for territory. It was just, a hood thing. We didn't even know what the fights was over half the time. But every time we saw each other, it was on sight. We always had to walk by their house in order to get to our house. And instead of walking around the long way, we always walked right by there, never even thought about going the long way, and always got in a fight. So my brother gets in a fight. He runs home, tell me, yo, I got in a fight with the Puerto Ricans. They tried to jump me around the corner. So we go around the corner, go see the Puerto Ricans, right? So now we go see the Puerto Ricans and, boom, 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 boom. We find our fish shots because we kids. So we fighting and carrying on. So then we go, and the next day my brother go on the other side of the railroad tracks, and on his way back, he finds a bag with like $500 in it. We kids, right? So he come home and he say, Mommy, look what I found. I found $500. I found $500. And he bragging about he found this $500, right? And he's talking about all the things he gonna do with it. So my mother said, all right, so what you gonna give your brother? Talking about me. And he said, nothing. It's mine. I found it. My mother smacked him so hard. Right? My mother smacked him, right? So when she smacked him, she said, is you stupid? When you found that fight around the corner with them young Puerto Ricans, didn't you come around here and get your brother to invite him to that fight? So now you telling me that you done found 500, you don't want to break your brother off? What kind of foolishness is you? What the you think I'm raising in here? You better give your brother some of that. Matter of fact, give him half because you gave him half the fight yesterday. And that's how I first learned that lesson from my mother. My lovely mother is 90 years old. Gonna be 91 in April. She's in rehab, getting the strength back. That's why you haven't really been seeing me up here doing videos as much, because I'm not really mentally in it. And I want to make sure I give you good quality videos. I don't want to just put up something to put it up. I see y'all like that Nas joint. I wanted to change it up because that's the mood I was in after seeing my mother. Remember when I bought her big fancy house? Let me ride. I bought my mother a big house down in, Miami, Florida, down there in South Beach. Had swimming pool, jacuzzi, 2-car garage, weight room, sauna, nice joint. This before, the rappers even knew about Miami. Back then the rappers thought Miami was like Virgin Islands or something, like it was a whole nother island. We didn't even know. That's why they just called it the bottom. They didn't even know what New York music was. It's not disrespecting them until I brought New York music, Miami music to New York. And then I brought New York music down to Miami. And that's when I met Uncle Al. If y'all familiar with Miami, or y'all know, down bottom, I'm talking about in the 80s, you know what I mean? You know Uncle Al. But, brought Uncle Al a couple of Brucey B and Star Child tape and all that. And, he saw what it was. That was a big DJ back then. And he, took a little style from that. So I saw that, I took it, and I said, nah, let me ride them down. I enjoyed what I saw in Miami so much when I went down there and bought that house for my mother that I turned around, and I wanted all my homies to experience the strip club and this whole new culture that, I'm in down there in Miami. But it was too much homies to bring to Miami. So what I did was I just grabbed 10 strippers a week, brought them to Miami, and, put them on stage, and we did what we did, and we had fun. And that's how we partied, and that's how we introduced stripping. But that's because, I made my money with the homies in New York. I feel obligated as a real man, to give back to the very people that helped me. So being I'm in Miami and I'm seeing this fancy life, I want to bring it to them. I want to make sure they see it. So I bring them up here and I open up Club 2000, and the rest is history. And that's how I introduce New York to Miami music, giving back to my brothers. So instead of taking them on vacation to Miami, I brought Miami to the homies in New York. See, that's how real dudes do. Gunshots. All right, let's finish this tape right here.
You're not gonna give him a dime. He got a kids and he trying to get an apartment. You're not gonna help him when you got a pocket full of money.
It's a tough situation.
No, it's not a tough situation.
You see? You said you ain't gonna help your partner when you got a pocket full of money. Like Iverson going to get $60 million and he's not supposed to help his partners? Wow, he got a pocket full of money? That's what Mike Vick is saying. And Vlad is saying, man, that's a tough situation. What's so tough about helping your brother? The same brother that if you get into beef or war is going to war with you. Somebody explain that. Let's ride.
I think it's a tough situation.
I've dealt with it.
It's a respect level, man. Like, I don't value a dollar, you know. I value, you know, loyalty. You know, I value respect, character.
You know, so that's where we at. I just wanted to bring this to you just so that I could give you something different so you understand what loyalty is. Loyalty is, like I said, when you go out with your homies or your homegirls and y'all get in a fight, you know, y'all get to rumbling. Y'all get in an almost fight, you know. Your girlfriends and your homies is there to roll with you. So when you come up and you get the bag and you see your homie or your homegirl is not doing that good, that's when you're supposed to reach out and make them feel comfortable enough to accept, you know, you looking out for them the same way you would expect them to look out for you, being that you're in that situation to look out for them. Is that understood? Am I making myself clear or am I just rambling here? We have to look out for one another. And that's what it's about. And that's what this video is about. That's what this joint with Michael Vick was about. All I want to tell you is make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Juanita Mecca Audio. I'm going to bring her up here. We're going to do a couple of interviews and we're going to do some things. She mad at me right now, but you know how it is. You know what I mean? Love it. You know, we love to hate each other. You know what I mean? That's my baby. But, you know, go check out my daughter over there at Juanita Mecca Audio. I just wanted to let y'all know what loyalty was. So you fully understand that, you know, just because you're up, don't forget about your peoples that's down that was there with you while you was rising up. So because you got that extra blessing from God a little more than they did, don't mean that you abandoned them. And on that note, I'm going to tap out. All right?
Cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. What?
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. Did not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours. So we can give back to the
cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. What? Mecca Audio, Mecca Audio, Mecca Audio, Mecca
Fresh out the can of 26. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully.